Should we dive into it or should we count? Wow, this is a nice location. Feel some professionalism going on. Going on around here. Should see this place. Wow, it's like a corporate.
You should welcome us to the podcast. You don't even have an intro song. Diaspod.
It hasn't started it. Dun, 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 dun. You know, once we had this Ubuntu association, at NMBU, and we had these weekly meetings where you just kind of like just update the entire African community on what was going on. So the president at the time, I won't mention his name, he suggested that we start the meeting with like a song, like a the Wakanda kind of songs where you and then he was like, I'll give you an example. And then he started singing a song from like his home country, and everybody was like, we love being African, but that's a little too much.
People needed to support the culture.
It's like support the culture. So we're gonna make an intro song it's going to be a cappella.
Diaspod.
Welcome to the Diaspod.
Thank you. Welcome to the Diaspod to you too.
I was very cautious on not calling you a guest today. So then you complained last week. You're like, no, I'm no longer a guest. So welcome, co-host. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's good to see you. It's been a while.
You actually woke up today. Nobody pushed you.
Well, that's what changes from when you change from being a guest to a co-host. You get to job, so you're like, let's go.
True. Yeah, you're following in the right footsteps.
Of course,
making the right decisions.
I take jobs very serious.
True. Are you good?
I'm okay. You?
Can't complain. It's been okay. I have school, so I'm quite active. I have an active week, even if so.
Thank you to Kongsgard. We are very grateful that you got this man out of bed.
I could have been sleeping or something, but it's good. It's good.
So how are the classes going?
I'm learning a lot.
So snackar du norsk, no?
Ja, jag snackar mer norsk. Mer. Och så bra norsk. Ikke ett år med sättningar går den väg. En annan sättningar går den väg.
Ja.
Jag snackar god norsk. But,
det hörs bra ut.
Det hörs bra ut. Ja, tusen tack. What are we talking about today? I'm trying to...
You tell me. You're the one who comes up with these topics. Hopefully it's nothing... In the first episode, you were attacking me, and then now you just went parallel last week. So I hope I'm bringing...
Every topic I come up with, you're like, oh no, this one is an attack on me. This one is a little too...
I just said those few first topics. It was just you are like on me. Then last week you went the other way like Norwegian. But let's see what you come up with this week.
Okay, so...
What's going on this week?
Preface. Is it preface or backstory? How I came up with this topic.
Story time.
You actually know about this. So was it yesterday when I told you I had gotten a book on Kindle?
Oh yeah, the job tips thing.
Yeah, the job tips. So I just came across an article a couple of days ago, and it just spoke about of course I was just trying to get ideas of like the Norwegian job market and how you can like sort of increase your chances or
job hunting anywhere in the world is not easy.
It's not easy. So I was just trying to get myself
somebody started going to scandal all of a sudden they're getting themselves organized.
You need to be prepared. You need to be prepared. So
myself and our listeners, we like this for you.
I like this for you and for you.
What? us. We're not the ones reading them.
Okay.
Anyway, go on.
Anyway, yeah. So as I was like reading through the tips,
Yeah.
I came across an article that suggested this book that I got. It's from some guy. I think he's from Britain, but he's lived in Norway for quite some time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he was basically just talking about the Norwegian like professional work environment, and how Norway is just different from how Norway differs from other countries. I mean, mainly it was like other Western countries like Britain or the United States, but yeah, and then it clicked. I was like, oh, we could actually talk about this because it was pretty interesting how they spoke about Norwegian work life and how it's just different from what most of us are used to. And I could actually relate to what he was talking about because, like, most of the work culture that we have in Zambia is, borrowed from like countries like Britain and the United States.
Yeah.
I feel like Norway is in a league of like its own.
Scandinavia is in a league of its own.
Yeah, so I just thought we could, I know we're not in professional like work settings
Speak for
yet.
yourself.
Oh, you're working a professional job. Okay, congratulations.
Hello.
Okay. You tell us more. Yeah, we have a professional here, ladies and gentlemen. So here I was thinking we're going to have limited knowledge again. Just like last week's topic, but yeah, it seems we have a professional.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So I just wanted us, to just look at these differences that exist between, like Norway and especially Zambia, because that's where we come from. And it's, as the guy mentions in the book, like it's really important to, not come with your ideas when you're looking for a job and go like, okay, this is how the job market works in Zambia and I'm just going to do the same things.
Yeah.
You might just find yourself working, in the opposite direction rather than working to find a job. You're actually pushing people away.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, so basically that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Okay.
Yeah, first things first. You just what's the word? You just corrected me that you're in the job market. So so far, you've worked in Zambia and you're working here.
Okay.
Are there any notable differences, just, off the top of your mind? Like, is there anything that, sort of, kind of raised an eyebrow or
Where do I start?
anything just off the top of your mind?
I would say maybe the differences are work culture, time management, and working systems, and I want to say group work, teamwork. I don't know, like that aspect of it. Yeah. So by work culture, I mean by here, when people are supposed to be at work, they are at work. So if you're supposed to be at work from 9 to 5, you are at work, unless otherwise. So it's very weird if you went somewhere and you had an appointment somewhere and they actually make you wait.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, when you go there to an appointment, for example, at the hospital, at the police, such and such, like public places where they attend to a lot of people, of course you would wait, but I don't think I've waited more than 10 minutes. Yeah, they will give you a wait, and it's not like they'll just make you wait there. They will say like, oh, we're sorry, we have a lot of people going, like we're a little bit understaffed, or there are so many people that we're attending to, but we are like trying to make the process faster. So then we will give you that information. So that working culture, I think, is really good. I really like it because on a personal level, I try to be a very organized person. So, and I love to plan for my things. So it's really helps me to have like such a working culture, because you literally know that, oh, when I go to work, because now even like with my schoolwork or any type of work, volunteer, whatever it is, everything that I do it between Monday to Friday. On the weekend, I don't even touch it
Yeah, you
unless
don't
if
touch
it's
it.
like an emergency and I need to get it like done. It was something left over from the week that I didn't get done to go into the next week that I needs to be done before like the week starts. But I really like that work culture, and that's the work culture that's here. People go to work Monday to Friday, the time they're supposed to be at work. I think maybe with the exception for people who work shifts.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you're even with a shift, when you're at work, it's like work time, like you're at work. What was the second one? I think it was time
I'll
management.
just stop you right there. I just had a point on the
Yeah.
same just before you you go to the next topic.
Mm.
Yeah, actually, time management is something that came up in like the book,
Yeah.
and I do agree that here when you're supposed to work, you are at work, and uh, this I would say, like, I would bring up Zambia, like in this state. When it comes to working time, what time do people start work here? 9 to
It
3,
depends. 9. Usually it's like 8. 8
8.
to 4, actually.
Yeah. So, um, like compared to Zambia, there obviously official timing is usually like 8 to 5. So, like, I would ask you this: would you say that like longer working times translate into like higher productivity because people work less here? Like where do you think the difference is? Is it that, you know, people are much more serious here, such that even if they spend less time, like just as you've said, Monday to Friday, right? You are committed to work during your work hours.
Yeah.
But back home, you would actually find that you're working 7 hours or maybe even 8, sometimes overtime, sometimes even weekends. But
Yep.
then productivity is still
There's so many
like,
bent out people back home. Yeah.
exactly. So interesting. Yeah, I maybe more on that later. I just wanted to bring that up when you mentioned like time management.
Yeah. I mean, I was talking about the work culture. The work culture, actually. Time management was going to be my next point of where like everything is managed within a certain period of time. And I was going to give an example of like if you have an appointment and then like it's running over, they'll literally cut you short. Like, okay, yes, it's either they'll cut you short or they'll be like, let me just make the next person aware that I'm supposed to see that we just need a few more minutes. Yeah, but they always try to. That doesn't mean they don't give quality service. And if it's in a case where like you actually just need like more time than the time you allocated, they'll transfer you to somebody who doesn't have like to see the next person, the next person, the next person, so that you are actually helped in your issue. Yeah. So the thing with that's what I like about like the whole time management aspect of it, and the work culture. You talked about the difference of no longer working hours, shorter working hours, productivity, and all of that. It's the work culture. It's the mindset. Here, when people go to work, as I mentioned, they literally go to work. Of course, they would stop and have a lunch, a coffee with a colleague, catch up, get to know. But then they still they get their tasks done for the week. Back home, and this is not even like to spite anybody or whatever. Back home, you would go looking around for a simple document somebody just needs to sign. It would take you a week, sometimes even a month, because people are not in their offices when they are supposed to be, and da 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 da. No, the one who signs this is only one person, and like it's always like it's a nightmare to be asked
True.
like to get like a document. And I'm speaking from experience. Because I have gone through this so many times. Living abroad, you need so many documents that need to come from home, because that's where you were born. That's where I did my education. So it's really, really hard and difficult, because here, even if I just sent an email, at least I would get a proper response.
Yeah.
Going like, oh yeah, this is your problem, I get it, da 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 da, and this is how I can help. I'm not trying to help you. I forwarded you to the person who can help you, da 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 da, and you'd get it sorted out. Yo, back home, send an email.
But then like the the guy again. I'll keep referring to the
To the
guy.
book,
Yeah,
yeah.
to the book. He said there's also a weakness in like the Norwegian system because people are sort of, they work with time. So say if it was whether it's a company or if it's in the public sector that's
Yeah.
supposed to like provide a service, and for whatever reason you need help. This guy gave an example of like he needed he needed a document. He must have needed a document from like the public sector, and he sent his email like 2 minutes after like the closing time. He sent an email, and not even he sent it during like just before they closed.
Like a minute
Yeah,
before.
a minute before they closed, and he had to wait. And so it's that kind of thing where people yes, there's productivity, but then nobody will go an extra mile for you and say, okay, I'm going to do this for you because
I'm going to answer these emails
yeah,
when I
these
get home.
emails,
No.
because you have an emergency or because it's important for you. When it's time to get home, it's time to get home. I close at 15, I close at 16. That's exactly what happens. For some of us back home, if, no matter how bad the service is, sometimes you might get
There's
to
always
an
somebody willing
office.
to do you a
Yeah, you're
favor.
like, I know you're closed, but I need this. I need
I
to
need
get
your
this
help.
done.
Yeah,
I know you're
that's
going
true.
out for lunch,
Yeah,
but I
that's
need,
true.
because I've experienced this, like in the bank, for instance. The bank, like if you're from Zanaco, you know what I'm talking about. It's that place is full, like from 8
From the
until
time they
40.
open, it's just like
So
food with people. True.
if you need to see somebody in an office and they're about to go out for lunch, you just give them that sad look. And sometimes if they're understanding, they'll like,
Yeah, because
yeah.
there are some people who will look you bad at that sad look of yours and give you an angry look to match and go like, after lunch.
It's like after lunch, really. So yeah, it's not to say it goes both ways, but it's yeah, there's a weakness in it as well, because on one end I know people have things to do. They have family, um I think he mentioned something like, is it Norwegians work to live?
Oh
Not
yeah,
live
the
to work.
famous, yeah.
Yeah, not live to work. So you have to respect that as well. People value,
They value their time.
their time. Yeah, and they have much more important things to do than just sit in an office and work. So if you need a service, if you're on the receiving end of a service sometimes and you're not, on time, you're not like following the rules, it might not be work to your advantage.
True. I mean, of course, in every system there's going to be flaws and there's going to be advantages. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's time management. And also maybe on the same time management, lateness is not tolerated as much as it is where we come from. But
Yeah.
I mean, I always
I think
tend to
that's
ask this question. Like, you're always on time, for instance.
true.
So where does this notion of but anyway, I think maybe it just goes with like the general practice, right? Like what most people do, like generally back home where we come from, most things are always start late. People are always late.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like it's a work culture because I don't know who I was talking to. I don't remember. But they had a conference workshop somewhere in Africa. And they were given like the workshop program and da-da-da-da. And they said, oh, the workshop starts at 9. So you guys need to be out of your like hotel rooms. Like they were living, how can I say? They were staying at the same hotel where like the conference or whatever it was being had. And so, yeah, they were like, oh, it starts at 9. And they woke up, went down, had breakfast, got ready, and went to the conference room. And people were literally setting up tables. Like they were setting up for the conference.
They were setting up at
They were
9.
setting up. And it was a little bit of a culture shock for them because they were like, but this thing starts at 9. And one of them was like, oh yeah, well, we're just like putting stuff together. So like come like by 9:30 and I'm sure the program will start at 10. And they didn't understand why, because they're like counterparts, the ones who are organizing the same conference. Literally came at 10, and that's when like the thing
That's
like
when it started.
that's when it started. So
Yeah.
as I said, it's about like the work culture, and as you said here, people work to live and not live to work. So maybe that's what the difference is, of where you know that, okay, from 9 to 4 I'm going to be at work, and I'm going to do
be
work
at
tasks.
Yeah.
From 4 to whatever, it's family time, I'm going to go hang out with my friends, like it's the system is systemized even in their
Yeah,
lives.
exactly. Even in their lives.
Yeah.
And there was also a story that I heard about uh, companies, established companies in other countries that come to set up base in Norway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that a number of them actually struggled, like to function here.
Because
Because
everything is so precise.
everything is precise. And also when you have companies with a work culture coming from the US, for instance, where companies that come to set up base in Norway, there's a bit of a struggle. Like many of them have ended up closing down because people want, there's so much focus on like hard work, and you forget that there's no, people forget time management. Fine, there are rules or laws that state that you should work from, like, I don't know, 9 to 3, but then in other countries it's like, okay, we need to get work done, not we need to just work until this period of time. And then so people come setting up meetings. For instance, somebody's supposed to knock off at 3, and then you go like, but we still have work to do, so can we set up a meeting like after 3, from 3 to 4? And people here, they're like, no, my work ends at 3, I have things to do after that. And then they just leave.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
but then also I don't think there are so many open-ended contracts. I don't know if that's what it's called. I'm not a contract specialist here. And by open-ended, I'm referring to, because back home when you sign a contract, it doesn't state, it will state your like duties or whatever, but it doesn't really state like the times or the hours you work. But here you need to work, I think that it's 37.5 hours in a week.
37.5.
Yeah, so like they're literally paying you only for the time that you're spending in your office. And in most jobs, at least the jobs I've had here, you always have to like clock in and clock out.
Yeah.
So it's literally you arrive. This is why people, if work starts at 8, by 7:59, people are clocking in. They're there because they're literally being paid for each and every minute they are staying in that job. And when you work overtime, you have to inform somebody like, oh, I'm going to work overtime, so you have to, and then you log it in another special way. So like everything is logged, like you're literally paid for that time. So that's why like it's really important that, okay, I'm here 7:59, 8 hours, my computer is fired up, I'm working, or whatever it is, my machines are, I'm on the job. 16:59, 15:59, everything's off, I'm leaving, like, because that's the time allocated. That's what I get my pay from. So maybe that's that could be another difference as well, because I remember the time I worked in Zambia. I started off working as an intern. Sometimes we'll just go to the office, and literally, because you're an intern, and if people have gone to do their projects and you're not allowed to tag along, you'll be seated at the office enjoying the free Wi-Fi.
Just seated and just doing nothing.
Yeah, which is different from being an intern here, because here, as an intern, if you're not required there every day, you're given like the amount of days when you can go, and but like everything is like specified.
It's specified.
Yeah.
If there are times when they don't need you, they just go like, okay, you don't have to be here.
It's the same thing as you were saying. We don't have professional jobs. We do have professional jobs. Maybe you would say they are not in the formal sector. They are service jobs.
Service
jobs.
Yeah.
That's what we currently have. So even with that, that is respected either way. We do get shifts. We work from a certain time to a certain time. I remember for one of my summer jobs, I forgot to log out one time. They sent me an email like, "Mommy, You forgot
You
to log out.
forgot to log out
Because like
because
it
kept
was it
counting.
was counting the hours and counting the hours, and she wanted to know like what time did you finish work so that I could log you out.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Wow.
So it's maybe
Amazing.
that would be something also to speak about, because I know back home you can get like a 6 months contract. It would just say like, oh, this person will work here for 6 months,
Work
this
here for
person will work here
six
for a
months.
year, but how many hours in a week? And it's like the standard of here. I think the standard pay is actually determined like per hour, right?
Mm-hmm.
Per hour, of course, the different salary scales and according to whatever your position is, you get like a certain amount,
Yeah.
but then you're paid per hour. I think back home you're paid like per month, or like the standard thing is
Uh, what's the? I think it's a daily. I think
it's
it's
a
daily
daily.
pay. I think it's
I'm not
daily
sure.
pay.
I
Yeah, I'm
never
pretty
worked in
sure.
HR before in my life.
I think if I can remember my pay slip very well, I think it's daily pay, but I'm not sure. I had a point. But anyway, this is just something that was on top of my mind. There's I just read that there's no like minimum wage here, and this
What do
goes
you mean? There
like
is minimum wage.
there's no law that actually states that people should earn not less than this much.
No.
What's there is what's there is uh, what do you call them? Unions? Yeah. So unions are the ones that actually negotiate the minimum wage, but it's not in the law. Like it's not written down in law to say in this industry nobody gets paid like an amount less than this. It's just like not powerful, like it's effective unions rather that negotiate this with like whichever companies in the like respective industries.
But then it's I like that you brought that up. From my understanding, of course, still learning the system and all of that. From my understanding, the unions are recognized by the government, so they have that power to like set the like it's practically their job. Like that's why they are there. So like it kind of like takes away the whole thing of where the government has to set, because I'm guessing what was problematic with that is like the government is setting like minimum wage for like people in industries that they don't have experience in, so it's better for the unions to set that,
Because I
because
think that's what happens in Zambia, right? It's the government that actually it's the Ministry of Labor that sets minimum
I
wages.
would I would think so. I am not really
Yeah,
sure.
I think so. I
Yeah.
think it's actually for the no, actually it is the Ministry of Labor that sets like minimum wage.
Yeah. So maybe yeah, that would be another nice interesting difference, because every job or every profession has different minimum wages set by like the unions, as mentioned. Yeah.
True, true,
And
true.
that is respected by everybody.
And it is respected. Yeah. I mean, even though there are people in some industries that I've worked in, especially in the like unskilled work, people always try to find
Loopholes.
loopholes and like they mess with like the wording in the contracts, especially leave out some stuff where they may seem it may seem like they're in line with the law. Meanwhile, they are, yeah. So yeah, that's that with when it comes to the money. Anything else? Dress code? I think Norway is chill. Norway is like the
Super, super
chill
chill. Yeah.
most chill place. I was looking at my teacher today. She was wearing those the rubber, not these ones. Like these ones are presentable. She
Or
was
like
she
those ones that we have, the other ones, the black ones.
yeah, like those, but the ones that you just when you wake up when you wake up in the morning and then you just
The fluffy ones.
not fluffy. They're like the plastic, but they're really thick. Like they're really really
And then when
thick.
you walk, they sound like.
Exactly. Those that's what she was wearing like in class, and I was like, wow, Norway is chill with
Yeah,
dress
that's
code.
true. That's really, really true. We saw because we went walking around, a friend of mine today in the city, and because we walked around like really like everyone went all the way down. So like that place with all the restaurants, I think there's like a hotel or something behind. So when we were going over the bridge, there were like all these people in suits and da da da, da, and you could see they were attending a conference because they had like the tags.
Yeah.
So it was so weird because we were literally seeing people in suits. Like you could literally see that they had everybody's attention because people here go to work. Of course, they don't dress indecently.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a smart casual kind
It's
of.
a smart, definitely a smart
A
casual.
smart casual, more on the casual side,
And most
kind of
time,
go to work thing.
and most times you really can't distinguish between who is like going for work and who's just going out, maybe to I don't know, to eat food in a restaurant.
Chill.
Maybe, you know, by the tag of an ID or something.
Then you'd be like, oh,
yeah,
this
then
one's going to
that
work.
this one
Yeah.
is going out, coming
But
from
the
work.
dress code, yeah, right, is pretty chill.
It's very, very, it's very, very chill. It's good for me actually because
Smart is not
I've
your
never,
jam.
I've never really looked forward to like wearing a suit every day. Once in a while, yes, but every single day, like you're in a tie, especially, and oh my goodness, they say Norwegians are only smart one day in a year. That's Christmas,
The 17th of May.
and Christmas as well.
Why? Where do they go on Christmas?
Like if you're going for a Christmas dinner, you definitely have
yeah.
to. Yeah, and 17th of May. That one is a must. I mean, it's a must for you. I would actually argue that Christmas dinner, maybe you can like wear a tie and a shirt, but 17th of May you actually need a suit.
Chill.
Yeah, so dress code pretty chill. Ish. Back home.
Yeah.
I won't
You
even
need to
start.
dress a certain way, and if you're a woman, it's even worse.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
So yeah.
I mean, of course, you do understand there are like professions that just require you to dress smartly. Like if you if you're a lawyer, for instance, yeah, maybe that is not something that you can work casually in. You can't really walk into a courtroom, you know, wearing flip flops and all that stuff. Yeah, there are professions that just require you to dress smartly, but then some things, I mean, it's just a little too much to ask for somebody, especially like back home when the weather is like really, really warm and you're forcing somebody to wear a suit.
Oh my gosh.
It's too much to ask, and they are on top of, you know, somebody concentrating on the work that they're supposed to do, and they have to figure out what they're wearing tomorrow, and you know, actually the whole week, because you're working Monday to Friday, and you're working from what, 8 until 5. You can't really plan for that every day. You need to make sure that you figure out what you're going to wear on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Thursday, Friday.
Even worse for like females. Wow. It's a lot of work.
The struggle.
So yeah, I think that takes out a huge chunk of the stress. If you don't have to worry about, you know, I need to wear the cleanest, and I mean, clothes need to be clean, but definitely shouldn't be like
I should have a clean look, smart pressed.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's that about dress code. Anything else? I'm trying to think. And also, I heard that if you're working like in Norwegian culture, I don't know if you've experienced this before. Like participation is like really, really important.
Oh yeah.
Value like everybody's input. You
Yeah.
can't just be. Yeah, I know. I'm sometimes I'm that kind of person that just likes to say no to stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really not a good attitude to have
Yeah.
around here.
Yeah, they're very big on teamwork here, and it's I was reading something of something. I don't know what you would call it, but there's a thing of where Norwegians are never rude. So like in Norwegian, they would tell you like, oh, can you please send this email by today? That's not them asking. They're telling you
telling
send this
you,
email
send this
today.
email today. So you cannot go like, oh yeah, I just
No, baby, I said no.
send
Like,
it.
so there's that culture of teamwork of where like, oh yeah, this is what we need to get done. You do this, you do this, you do this, you do this, and everybody does their thingy. So if you do delay, and then you go like, I think it would be very, very awkward if you went to a meeting and everybody was like, oh yeah, let's give updates. Did you do this? Did you do that? And then you go like, oh no, I didn't have the time. Everybody would be
didn't
like,
have the time. It's like,
no,
but
how?
it's your job.
Yeah.
You're supposed to
And
do this.
yeah, and I'm sure it would be annoying to everybody else if you like had to drag everybody's work if you don't do your part. So teamwork is a very big thing, and even just in university, this is emphasized starting from the time like when you're training for anything. I'm not sure if it's highly emphasized in their high schools as well, but at least in uni they always do tell us that each course always goes with group work. You have to do something as a group, either after class or throughout the semester or something. And there's like, because that's the working culture, like after uni, you always have to work with other people. You always like, for you to get things done anywhere, you have to work with other people, so you have to have like that culture already built into you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like even with like things that are not like related to work, like when you're in a work environment, for instance, I don't know, you're organizing some dinner with amongst employees or a party.
Yeah.
Like it's actually really, really important because they know it's part of team building, and they just give you a small task to say, okay, just choose one thing that you can do here.
Yeah,
And then you just go like,
that.
no, I can't do this.
Yeah, it's always like that. I remember when I was back in Oslo, and I was working back in Oslo. I remember I was part of the Christmas dinner planning committee, and my job was just to make like a game.
Yeah.
That was it. But like everybody, the thing, yeah. So it's everybody is required to participate, and I think it's a very good aspect because then you don't just do your job, but then you do like different things, whether it's social or work related. You do different things, and this does help to build your own personal skills. Of course, you can just go to work and just do the job you are hired for. But I'm trying to think of a job where you can solely just go and be alone. Like maybe accounts people, but even the accounts people are accounting for somebody else. So it's like they still have to be involved in something. Yeah.
True.
What?
So no, I'm just thinking. It was an enlightening moment because I know how I can be sometimes.
No, but then also maybe I'm being biased because I know you so well. You're also very okay with stepping up to the task.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's not you'd say no if it's makes you uncomfortable, but if it's you're in a space of where you're like, okay, this is what when I'm here, this is what I need to do, like I need to participate, you do participate.
True. Thank you for saying that makes me feel better. It makes me feel better about myself. So make sure you participate in whatever is going on. Team building is very, very important. Like you might have the skills, but you need to work. You're not a one-man team, is that what they say? Yeah, you cannot be a one-man team. So
no man is an island. I really do hate that saying, to be honest. No man is an island, because I desperately want to be an island.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to work solo. You just want to work solo.
Yeah.
What else? And also maybe we could. Do we still have time? I need to check. 41 minutes. Wow. Okay. Lastly. Final. Holidays.
Holidays are taken very seriously.
Very, very seriously, actually.
I mean, everywhere holidays are taken. Even in Zambia, holidays are taken. If it's a holiday, you have no chance at all.
Yeah, and it's it's just interesting that especially during, is it July or June? When do most people go on holiday?
July.
Yeah.
The summer holiday.
The guy with the book actually spoke about this. Like, it's rare for, I don't know, maybe it's not in Zambia, but it's rare for people to actually give you like a whole month to like
go on vacation.
Yeah, just go on vacation, like a whole month. And not just it's okay to do it for like one employee. You go like, okay, this one is going this month, and then, but for most people here, like some places actually closed down, like July, nothing going on. You're like, it's time for people to.
I think it's most things that close down, except maybe like service industry, hotels, restaurants, but like
which are closed, which are work less obviously during when it's cold, so they're supposed to open during the summer.
But then it's understandable because that's how their work culture or their work system is organized, because even schools close, that big holiday is in July. Like for them to change to go to like the next grade or the next year starts in August. But for us, I think that's December or something like that.
December. But June, maybe it's just June or July, I'm not sure, but it's just a month.
Where?
Back home we closed. At least we had 2 semesters and then December off. And
no, June. But then that's the thing, it's just like it was dependent on just your school. It wasn't everybody else.
No,
right?
No. Far from it.
Exactly. But then here it's like the whole system is built like that. Like everybody knows that in July it's holiday. Companies close, school close, everything closes. Even like companies with projects, their projects usually end of June. Yeah.
But then also, like, people don't have a choice here, you could argue. I think the system could have been much more flexible had like summer been longer, because you know, if you're going to have like 2 months of like warm weather when people can actually do stuff, you just have to put it to good use and just make sure everybody like respects that. I mean, back home, even though it's everywhere,
it's always sunny.
It's always sunny, so you can actually.
So the weather does play a big. You're right. The weather does play a big thingy in like taking that long vacation. And so it's just how the whole system is set up. Of course, it has its flaws, but then it does work because people they know that, okay, between this time and this time we work as hard as we can, I guess, as smart as we can. And then in July, I think most people, by the time they're getting to like when they set up maybe their schedules or whatever, by the time they're getting to June, they have less and less appointments because they know that everything else will have to come after July if it needs to be.
And this, I can not count how many times I've sent an email and then you just get an automated reply saying, sorry, I'll only be back in office 7th of August.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, true. Okay. This is now director is getting angry. Any last words? Sorry. Any last words before we close?
I'm not sure what the topic was about because I think we digressed.
But it was just work life basically.
But then work life will always differ in whatever situation or country you are in, because you do have to adjust to the laws or the working culture of that country. So it will always look different. So maybe for us, it feels like a lot more different, the work culture here, than the work culture in Zambia, because in Zambia, it seems a little bit slower than it is here. Yeah, so maybe that's why it seems as if maybe we are like, no, here is better, Zambia is not. No, Zambia is actually really great. People do work hard. They do their jobs. And it might not be like the same systemized system, but the system is still there and it works.
Just to add on that, I feel like, it would be unfair on, especially where we come from, to start going like, oh yeah, maybe we should adopt the Norwegian system and a lot of people should adopt that. I feel like it would be unfair to compare. It's like, I don't know, apples and oranges. But instead, what's important for me would be to adapt, like with what we have, our current system, to see how it can be like, is
Made
it
better.
tweaked? Yeah, tweaking here and there just to make it better,
Make it more efficient.
make it more efficient rather than, especially when it comes to like working hours for me.
Yeah.
That's
Maybe they should start paying people by the hour.
exactly,
People in
because
their
then it's shorter.
offices.
Because that will definitely drive people into like making sure people work less, and when you're in office, you're just supposed to work.
Yeah.
True. With that, thank you so very much.
Thank you for the topic. At least this time it wasn't aimed at me, so.
Yeah, definitely. What was I going to say? And thank you for this location. It's really, really nice. It's not the last time we're going to use this place. We just keep, finding new places. But I hope we come back here. I really, really like this place. Maybe we should steal this couch. But
I am not a criminal. I'm not an accessory to theft, please.
Okay, so thank you very much for co-hosting the Diaspod. Until next week.
Of course.
Ha det bra.
Adam.